And there we go, I started recording. Welcome, people, to the Vaseraga Presentation 2.0. I already did this like 6 months ago. It's crazy how time flies, right? Um, and between the last patch and this one, we got basically nothing. I mean, he's like slightly weaker, I guess, but he's still very strong. So I figured people would want to hear me yapping all over again, because the last session kind of was lost to time, right? I didn't record that because I was dumb and stupid, and I didn't think, oh, people would like to hear me talk, I guess. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna just move on. No more hard Broly versus Vasaraga. There we go. We're gonna go straight to content. So what are we going to look at tonight? We are going to look at, well, the summary of the character. We're gonna look at different play styles. I'm gonna explain how Soulforge works. Um, I'm gonna hello the divine intervention. I'm gonna look at a quick overview of his buttons, all of them. I won't. I'm not gonna spend like 10 minutes on each move. By the way, we're gonna look at his neutral, and his offense, defense. I'll sprinkle in some counterplay along the way, but I have dedicated a whole section to counterplay, similar to last time. Then we're gonna go over his matchups. I made two tier lists for this. I made a more straightforward tier list and a more complicated one, where I'm gonna give my opinion on most of the cast and how they fight Vaseraga. And then we're just going to, have a Q&A because I'm with people on Discord right now in the EU Training Grounds Discord server where we organize tournaments for beginners that haven't reached masters yet. And even if you reach master, if you feel like you're not good enough at the game and want to learn more about other characters, you can pop in. We have coaches, we have people that are going to help you learn the game. And yeah, without further ado, we're gonna start introduction. Summary of the character. Thank God Dustloop exists, because I have taken straight from the page. Vaseraga is a heavy character who intimidates his foes with huge normals, armor, and impressive damage output. Vaseraga swings his weight around like a sledgehammer, crushing all who stand in his way. So this is like the first sentence you see when you look at his Dustloop page, and it's kind of just what he is. Vaseraga is just big, slow character with big, slow normals, does big damage, and if he catches you lacking, well, you're probably lost around. With that being said, though, it's not all fun and games. Not all just, oh, let me just hit you with my big starter. No, Voss kind of has to think a little bit, despite what some people will tell you. Uh, he plays a resource game. He has a whole ass resource other than just his meter, which is a Soulforge gauge, which was implemented in the Galleon patch in 2.1. We are currently at 2.3 at the recording of this session. So he must both be wary of his Soulforge meter and, well, his regular meter, because they're both very, very important to him. So doing so gives him a lot of benefits, and by benefits I mean he wins the game. That's pretty straightforward. Uh, that being said, he's not. He, saying boss is hard is kind of inaccurate, because he's weird for sure. Like if you come, if you start the game with any other character, you go on to boss and you're like, bro, what is this? I don't want to play this. Why is he so fucking slow? But if you start the game as boss, then he's really just not that hard. You just have to think differently when playing him, which I think is a good segue to the different playstyles that he can have. I listed two on this little slideshow. So the main one you'll be seeing at high level gameplay is the patient boss. So the patient boss is going to play a slow, patient neutral game. He's gonna be observing what the opponent does and kind of just sit there. He's going to take his armor when he can, and he's just he's just gonna be chilling. He's gonna be building in the meter, and once he catches you lacking, then he's gonna use that meter to mess you up. So yeah, his sulfur gauge, he's not going to use it on funny, funny. I don't want to play neutral. He plays neutral actually, which is something out of my belief. Like I don't do that shit, but okay. Um, so yeah, as I said before, they use their long range normals and their stance follow ups to keep foes out. Either with Far M, either with stance normals, or Fireball, just the good moves. Soulforge, they mostly use that on defense actually, because using Forge on defense is legitimately a very good way to get out of certain situations. Most of the cast can. Uh, Again, that does take some finesse though. You can't just, oh, he pressured me with close light. Guess I'll armor through that. No, you gotta actually know. You actually gotta be smart for that, which is why it's not me. But you know, if you want to be a good boss, then that's what you want to do. And then I also have the Rushdown Demon, which oh hell, let's see. So what do they want to do? They want to say screw neutral, bro. I'm not playing neutral with my slow character. I just want to get in, and by getting in, I mean they're going to tackle on you. So what does tackle do? Actually, I'm gonna fucking explain that when I have to talk about the move overview. So I'll just sprinkle in a little tease. But yeah, Vaseraga tackle and fireball. That's what we like. That's what we like to do. That's what we like to use. We want to use that to get in and basically mix opponents up with command grab and 50/50s and RPS and all that good stuff that everybody likes. Like not a single person dislikes getting RPS in this game. That being said, it is riskier because, of course, going in with your reactable shit, the people, the good players, they're gonna react to it. So that's when you have to, kind of act like the main boss Raga players, where you have to take it a little bit slower and not be as rush downy. But yeah, it gets the job done most of the time. You just go in, plus frames, you harass them, you put them in an RPS guess for a game situation. You're in the corner now, and you're dead. Um, Also, the way this playstyle is honestly still very viable in tournaments is because Voss has more HP than most of the cast. He has 2k more, which is basically a grab. He can take a grab and still be like he still has as much as any other character. So what that means is Vaseraga can take more risk than the opponent can. Um, if he wants to fish for something, he's going to take risks for sure, but he is most likely not going to lose the game off of it. Whereas if you get hit by his risky gambit, you're most likely going to take a lot, and I mean a lot, and when I mean a lot, I mean like more than half your health if he has resources. And sometimes you don't even need resources, you just get blown up. If you get like M tackle counter hit in the corner, you can just say bye bye. It's over. You can alt F4. But yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to pull up the game for this one because I'm gonna explain what Soulforge is and how it works. So Soulforge is his unique action. That's the 5U. Um, he just gets it by pressing the unique button. And so what happens after that? Well, that's where I pull up the game right here on my OBS. And I'm going to change the stream on Discord because again, there's people with me. There we go. We are in. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. All right, I pressed the 5U button. I got a gauge now. And what does that gauge do? Well, it gives me armor, which you probably already knew, but So what does it give me armor on? Like actual, like genuinely, what are the moves? Well, first thing is not that, it's stance. So as you can see, I'm using the stance, gauge is depleting. And each time I use the stance, it takes a little chunk out of it. So that's basically the main gist of it. If Voss is using an armored move while he has the gauge, he gets armor. There we go. So of course it's not just on stance. It's like this is specifically L stance. Then you have M stance, which he just takes a little step backwards. Then you have H stance, which is the main big thing. Not this one though. This one is armored all the time, but it's kind of poo-poo garbage in neutral, so we never really use that move. He also gets armor on his tackle, M and H specifically. So this one, as you can see, gauge starts depleting. And the H tackle is the same. There we go. So again, armored takes 2 hits. I forgot to mention that actually. Takes 2 hits of armor, and then you need a third one to knock him back. So let me just get Grant over here. There we go. So it knocks me straight out of the armor with that third move. So yeah, let me just get back into this. So I said all the stances. Well, not all the stances, but the 3 main stances, 2 tackles, and you also have a held charge. You have a held heavy input. So this is held for H gets the armor. Held 2H gets the armor. Held 6H gets the armor. Or actually plus off of that, by the way. And of course, this one, which you're actually just only +0. So if, if you were scared of this move, then you don't have to do anything. But okay. Yeah. So basically, every held charge input he has takes the armor. It used to like not actually do anything other than take armor, but in recent patches they made them like actually do stuff. Like if you charge our move, you get more shit. So other than that, also 5U itself, if you give the buff to yourself, like if you use the buff while having the gauge, it'll, you know, get the armor and the gauge will start depleting again. So this is the most like recent change Voss got. I think that's the main one, other than maybe this whiffing on shit. Like other than this whiffing. That's probably just not being able to keep the meter as long as you want anymore. Um, if you use 5U again while the gauge is, you know, running down, you're still on a timer. You can't just hold onto that. That's one of the main things. Something not many people know is that while armoring through something, Voss actually gets a damage reduction. So if I armor through, well, he has. Oh shit. I don't take as much damage as I would if he just hits me. There we go, as you can see right there. It can come in clutch, though if you armor through something and you're going to die, it's not going to save you. Like, if I'm at 1 HP, like, there we go. Let me just put myself at 1 HP real quick. Even if I armor through something, I just die. Which is fair. But it's something to keep in mind. Like, it's not gonna save you. What else can I say about Soulforge? It's wait, no, almost forgot. It's 40 frames. So what is 40 frames in, you know, real time terms? It's 40th of a second. So that's basically like, okay, I don't know where I'm going with this. But it's slow as hell in fighting game terms. Like Gran over here, if I just pop that shit like here, he can quite literally just do this. Oh, this is EX Gran. I didn't even notice. Well, that's fine. Okay, so I was saying, does he still get the... Yes, okay. So if I just try to pop this in his face... Damn, I got hit. Damn, I got hit. So as Vaseraga, you don't want to just pop this. for no reason, like at all. You actually want to buff up in specific situations that aren't just, oh, I'm doing it like in mid screen. You can't do that. Bam, you get punished for that. And also one of the most recent changes, if you hit Voss before frame 31, he actually doesn't get the buff at all. Like he straight up just loses it completely. So that's also another thing to keep in mind if you want to fight this character. You do not ever want to let him get this for free. Well, that wasn't punished, but this was. Still got the buff this time because it was, he hit me after frame 31, so I still got the buff. So technically, I still kind of win off of this interaction. But being sent full screen, that's not really what Voss wants to be at. And yeah, well, let me see if I have any more stuff I want to talk about isn't on the thing. I'm gonna switch back to it. Change streams. Damn, there we go, and it worked perfectly. Now let me get this on OBS. There we go. Okay. So yeah, this is basically what I said. Um. Right. Also, all of Voss's armored moves activate on frame 5, so the armor procs on frame 5, except for certain exceptions, like 2 actually the armor activates on frame 7, which is stupid to me, because old tackle doesn't require the gauge, but it's frame 5 as well. So I don't know why they just make that move worse in particular, but that is something. The follow up on his stance, the U follow up on his stance that is fully armored, that's frame 1, so he can just react to stuff with it. And also, of course, the held heavy inputs, since you still have to the charge up time. It doesn't activate on frame 5. It activates on like frame 20 or something, depending on the move. But yeah, that basically how Soulforge works, and what it is. So, this is where I talk about his buttons now. So I'm going to switch back to the game. There we go, on OBS and on discord.com. I'm gonna change. There we go. It works. We'll go. Alright. So we're just going to look at every single move he has very quickly. Of course, I'm not gonna go through like a 10-minute explanation on 40 move or something. Straight out of the gate. This. So FL. Pretty good button. The range for FL is very, very good. It's frame 8 though, so very slow compared to other most FLs. Like if I take Grant for example, his is 6 frames. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is when you're actually trying to, fight each other and interrupt the other. So yeah, +2 on block, pretty good. You can just throw one out after the other, like this, and you'll crush anything. Because a certain trait that Vaseraga has is that pretty much all of his normals have clash priority up. This is considered a medium in the game. If the Grand tries to, like, okay, that is not. The Grand tries to, like, I gotta get this right though. I will get this right. I will. You know what? Maybe I won't get this right, but you get what I mean. If we clash, like if this was supposed to clash, I would actually win because I crush his normal with my clearly medium attack. This is clearly a medium to you guys, right? Um. So yeah, 8 frames, pretty good. The conversions you get on this are also pretty good. Because what you get is basically something like this. So pretty good knockdown. Something like this. Puts them full screen. You can get the buff up. That's pretty good. And also you can just do other cheeky stuff with this. But that's just going to, like, I'm done talking about RL now. 2L. 2L is your mashing button. That's what you want to press if you want to mash something. It's 6 frames plus 0. Um, not having a 5 framer kind of sucks, but the reward Voss gets off of hitting 2L is actually pretty damn good. Like if I'm in the corner right here, Grant tries to pressure me or something, I hit him out of it, it links into itself. So that's already pretty good for hit confirming. You can just throw this out like willy-nilly, and you can just bam, first screen, I got the buff now, and I'm out of the corner. So that's pretty good. You don't even need to waste meter or anything. So yeah, 6 frames. That's your fastest move. Use it if you want to mash, I guess. Though the Voss isn't gonna Voss isn't gonna mash much, as I said before. He kind of just actually I haven't said that before, but I'll get to that later. But yeah, you can do again cheeky stuff with H grab. Mostly just linking into this. That's what I do. I get the buff up. I'm like -4, but it's okay. They're not at range yet. You just throw this out or something. But yeah. It's also +0 on block. You probably saw that already. But yeah, +0. You're not getting punished for this. You can do some pretty nasty stuff. Like, you can do this and grab. There we go. Since grab is 4 frames, it's the fastest thing anyone can do. So you can kind of just jail into it. Bam, now you're in the corner. If you're close enough, that is. Because if you do that, you can't do that. You can do also this, but whatever. I'm just talking too much about it. Close L, 7 frames. Oh, what is 7 frames in Grand Blue terms? It's slow as fuck for us for a close light. This is actually no, it's not the slowest. I mean, no, it is. It's just Versusia has the same speed, and she doesn't even have a CL. But yeah, 7 frames compared to most characters who have a 5 framer. So Grant, for example, them 5 frames. It's a CL, alright. Like it can be used. You're +4 on block, so it's very good in that sense. But then you realize close M, it's 8 frames, which is 1 frame slower, so not that big of a deal, and you're +3. The only thing CL has over like trying to CM is that you can block after it. Whereas if you try this, I genuinely don't think if he BCs it, I am pretty sure I cannot. Yeah, I cannot block after that. I tried to block. There we go. I can on this one. So that's like the only thing. If you don't want to be brave countered, which you're playing Vaseraga, you're not gonna get brave countered if you have the gauge up. But if you want, I guess this works. So yeah, I talked about CM already. +3 on block. That's actually, I don't think many close M's in the game have that. Kind of a Voss specific thing. I'm sure other characters have it as well, but yeah, +3 is pretty good. You can kind of just jail one into the other pretty easily. This as well. You can do some pretty sick mix-ups off of it. And yeah. Now, okay, let's talk about the big one, the big normal that everybody was waiting for. This. So -7 on block. This used to be -4, so not punishable at all. It barely misses on the run start, but if the opponent does anything, then they just get clipped by this. I have to like micro walk. There we go. I micro walk, bam, in range. So spaced, this is unpunishable by anyone, and it's also extremely difficult to whiff punish, because as you can see, Voss kind of just steps forward a little bit and then steps backwards. You have to fully commit to whiff punishing this move. Like if Vera has to 6/6H that to actually try to whiff punish, that's pretty funny. That's your best normal in neutral. I don't think there's any like contention for it that it's at this point. This used to be pretty like lackluster before the Galleon patch, but now this is just your best normal now. This all of this. You just cancel into something else and you're chilling. So yeah, very good. Use this. Also, this links into each other. There's no spot dodge time there. You can just bam, get the buff up. Damn, I'm minus 17 on that distance, bro. I'm playing such a bad character, right? No, this link is very good. Use your meter. I'm minus 23 is kind of at this distance actually, but still, you if you need the buff, they'll just do that. 2M. That's the big Brett Cat special. He's waiting for it in chat. I'm just seeing that. So that's your first low. So 9 frames for a 2M. Again, that's slow, but if I compare this to Grand, he's like 7. But that's just kind of the gist with Voss. As I said before, he has lower normals, but big payouts on said normals. So yeah, actually a low, and you can get some pretty nasty stuff out of this. Like right there, if you cancel into H stance, you can kind of get a simple combo out of it. Damn nice 5k for no resources whatsoever. That's pretty good. You can also just do some funny stuff. I messed it up. Bam, I pressed 6XM, guys. This is the first time I'm pressing 6XM. Are you guys happy? The ball jiggle? Yep, it's the ball jiggle setup. I will not add anything onto that statement. You can also do that if you want. That's always plus. You're always gonna be plus if you do this on someone's block. There we go, +6. That's a nice +6. And what can you do at that range? You already know. There we go. You can do all sorts of stuff. So yeah. People use this move on defense, which is mind-boggling to me. It's 9 frames, bro. You don't want to press that. It doesn't get armor or anything. Reward is huge, but at that point you would just use 2L instead. So yeah, that's like I still use it though on like some offense sequences where like we grab clash or something. I'm like, damn, maybe I can sneak one in like this. It's -6 on block, though if you space it correctly, again, nobody's with punishing you. Like, not with punishing you, but like punishing you for this. Like, damn, I'm -6 at this distance, bro. My character's kind of trash. No, he's not. Cancel options out of this, or just fireball. I said it before. Again, just RPS. Go. Boom. You're full screen now. And yeah, there's not much more to it. It's just a very good link. Like, this is just a very good link in general. And again, you can't get any of this though. You need to have them a little bit higher up to do any more than just natural 2M starter. But also, actually, I forgot to mention that the 6XL. That's the big funny Granblue move. That's 6XL, right? He has the worst one in the game, so don't use it. That's you're like, how plus? I don't even know because I never use that shit. But you're +2. Guess what is +2? And guess what starts in 8 frames? Nice. And guess what also has like similar reach? Like, okay, man. Cancel options out of that, or just, you're +2. You're not gonna get much as Vaseraga. So I don't use that, I guess. This is where I talk about the funny. So again, we're back to it. We're back to it once again. Yeah, I'm seeing the chat. They are going wild right now. So this is 6XM. That's your universal. Actually, not universal, because some characters have a low hitting 6XM. But that's -14 on block. This move is not good, but if you play Vaseraga, you are legally required to use that move. Because if you don't, we will actually find you in real life, and we're gonna have a nice talk. Um, so yeah, uh, let me just put him on crouching, blocks all. I have block switch enabled. There we go. It hits them. Um, it's funny, like it's very funny, but if you want to win at the game, you just use this instead. There's no there's literally zero downsides to using this over 6xm, except the fact that you'll be way more lame and way less awesome. So use 6xm, I guess. All right, heavy inputs time. So far H. Round start distance it hits. Though the 17 frame startup makes it kind of wonky to use. Like, it's good if the opponent does nothing, because then if they do nothing, you kind of just maybe get this one out, you're minus 20, which sounds bad, but again, at this distance, they don't have any resources. Uh, you're most likely fine on run start. Um, Other than that, it's kind of a, I won't say lackluster, but 17 frames, it's kind of, you know, when you can just use this. This is 11 frames. This is 17. Why would you use the 17 frame move? Especially because you're even more punishable. Like you're 1 frame more punishable. I guess you can just link into this, but that just takes 2 whole years to come out. So yeah, the one thing I use this move for is because it actually gives you perfect spacing to just L tackle. So now you're +4. It's pretty damn good. And if they try to spot dodge it, you're +1. Like, if they don't have a DP to answer that, um, you can grab them. Like, it won't throw escape, but you'll still have the advantage here. +7, holy wow. I don't even know that. Like, even if they try to spot dodge it as early as they can, you will always be +1. So that's pretty good to know, huh? That's pretty good. Doesn't take the armor though. So you can just kind of not run in, but, you know, take my silly +1 setup. I've talked about this for way too long. 2H, it's your anti-air. That's your universal anti-air, and I'm not wrong about that. What kind of sucks about it though is that it starts 2 frames slower than everyone else's. The Vaseraga is 13th, Vertusia is also 13th, and Grands, as you can see, is 11th, which is the whole cast other than those 2 characters. So 2 frames is not that big of a deal, but sometimes when you want to anti-air someone, you want it to be faster than 13 whole ass frames. Um, so the one thing that 2H is good at is give you immense reward on hit, or whether it be normal on counter hit. Um, that's not the right jump, Gran. Okay, there we go. As you can see, I have not enabled counter hit, and the damage you can get off of getting a 2H in as Vaseraga is kind of nuclear. Like I use resources, right, but they took half their health. Now they're in the corner. I have the buff, and I'm +9. So what can you ask more? Like, genuinely, I used 50 meter for that, by the way. Um, that's pretty good. Also just links, I guess. That does pretty good damage to you. You don't use any resources for that, actually. Don't jump on Alpha, so that's gonna come later, actually. Um, yeah, you can jump on boss considering, 2H is slower than everyone else's, but if you make it super predictable, then you're just going to get absolutely demolished, like absolutely cooked, like actually destroyed. So use your jumps carefully, okay? they are viable. They are actually a pretty good thing to use against boss. You just don't have to be predictable and get hit by this. Don't get hit by this, because you will be laughed at. Um, sorry, that's 2H. Also, again, but I mean, I don't have to say this anymore because I already mentioned it, but, you know, it gets armor. Close H can be held like every H input. Usually, most characters in this game can get like a frame trap off of this. Voss cannot because slow as fuck. It's 15 frames, so pretty slow. But we're seeing a pattern here. If you get hit by this, you're gonna take a lot of damage. Like I'm not gonna use any meter for my combo. You took 6k meterless. I have the buff. I am plus 11. You are in the corner now. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, just this is used as like a meaty option most of the time. This is only really where you're gonna be using that. Um, fully charged, 30 frames. Um, you get monstrous things off of that, especially in the corner. And on counter hit, not on counter hit that shit. That you're dead, bro. You're gone out of this world. Like you go move on to the next round. On block, -4. So you're not punishing that shit. That's pretty good. If you fully charge it though, you can do some really funny stuff because some people just don't know this is +0. Um, so sometimes I just knock someone down. I charge that shit and I just keep going, and they don't press because they think it's super plus or something. No, you can kind of just grab me. Um, and even if you block that, there's no threat because it's only +0. You can literally magic grab out of that, and the best thing boss can do is try to magic grab as well to grab Clash. So that's pretty funny. Uh, yeah, don't get hit by this though. Um, because yeah, you're going to die. You're going, you're gone. Bye bye. There we go. That's 12k. Bam. Wait, I need that. Yeah, it's pretty alright damage. Pretty standard. It's not. But yeah, that's close H. Now we're talking about 6 This is actually a very good move. Like actually very good. It used to not give you any reward on normal hits. Like it used to slightly move them upwards, and now you get a full conversion out of that. And you can do some pretty good damage with this. Not that much here, but if you have meter, you can. What the fuck? If you have meter, you just send that shit. There we go. That's half of the health for 50 meter. And I only hit them with one move. There we go, this one. How minus is it though? Because you most 6 H's in the game, they're kind of committal, right? It's -4, so you're not punishing that. In the charge version, it's actually +2 on block, but you have like all the time in the world to spot dodge it, so that's where the issues kind of start. And even then, +2 is not that good on Vaseraga, but yeah. If you get hit by this fully charged, he gets funny stuff. Something like this, but I don't fucking know. I'm not here to lap combos. Pretty damn good. It works very good as an anti-air. Like if I tell Grant to jump, bam, I hit him all the way over here. And then, can I do this? I can. Pretty good. I only used 50. I only used 25 meter for that. Yeah, kind of a nuclear starter when you think about it. You get caught lacking by this. You can also do some funny stuff. Okay, I messed it up, but it happens to me more often than I'd like to admit. I'm not gonna lie, just whiffing the RC. But yeah, so that's all of his normals. Actually, no, I missed one. This is this. There's to you. Very good button, in my opinion. To you is very awesome and epic. Um, Big range. Again, that's kind of similar to Far M in a way, where it will hit pretty much anything the opponent tries to do on like a round start, except if it's fast enough. I only have to walk a little bit. There we go. Never mind. There we go. So big ass flow. On block. Time to block switch, big fella. Minus 12. So you know that's you again. You're not punishing that from that distance. You are not punishing Vaseraga. What he can do out of that is pretty damn good as well, cause big gorilla, I'm +2 now. So that's something I actually abused a whole lot. If you see my tournament footage, I use this link a whole lot, cause this is actually like pretty easy to set up, cause the big range. And I'm just on you now. I'm +2, and you people mash, and I like hit them, and it makes my brain go, yeah, I like that. Um, there is a spot dodge timing. I do think I think Grant is plus if he tries to spot dodge that. What? Okay, okay. I did okay. That I guess like myself. I think. Okay. Okay. I guess it's even better than I thought, because you can literally be +3 on this. +6. Jesus Christ. Okay. If the opponent has a DP, you don't want to do that much though, because they can just react with their DP instead of this. Like I'm actually gonna show it this time. There we go. They can just kind of do this. If they start doing this, then you don't use that link that much anymore. But if they don't, or if they don't have anything to answer that with, um, pretty good. Um, Also you can just disengage completely. Like do this, or go in with this, or even this actually. So yeah, very good, very good sweep. Is just kind of slow. 16 frames. That's kind of a yikes, especially when I compare it to Grand, who is 7 frames. But does Grand reach as far? Hell no. Hell no. I just saw Gion ask, "What is a DP?" My brother in Christ. You know this game. Okay. Anyway. I talked about 5U. I didn't talk how you got a combo out of it though. If you hit someone with that, it's pretty good. Um, yeah, also can be used as a sort of anti-air. Like if they jump on you and you 5U, damn, it's air unblockable, because this is every grounded move in this game is air unblockable except if you're named Barry, I guess, or Matera. But I don't, I'm not gonna talk about Barry or Matera here. Yeah, if you want to, you get a sick ass conversion off of it on counter hit. Again, I mostly do the same as combo, like this. Bam, again, that's half your health for 50 of my meter. Pretty good. I didn't talk about air normals actually. Okay, I'm gonna speed this up. I'm gonna speed this up because I have been talking for a while already. This is your cross up button. Every character in this game has a cross up air normal, and Voss's one is JL. so it comes out frame 5. So technically it's your fastest button, like actually fastest button. But no, it's not in practicality. Um, Pretty good to challenge people. That's pretty good to challenge stuff with though, because all of his other air normals are pretty slow, like 12 frame, 13, 12. So yeah, if you just wanna purely challenge someone, they're jumping at you. This is probably going to just get counter hit. So you just use this instead. And on counter hits, you actually can get something when you just jump back down. There we go, all hits. Like if you get something, yeah, okay, you get a slight conversion, but it gets you the buff, so it's very important still. As Vaseraga, you want the buff as much as possible, so you take every opportunity you can get. This is probably his best or normal. I said it's slow, but the range cannot be understated with that move. The links you get off of it though are even better, because most of the time you can just get this, and now you have the buff. That's very important. You can combo off of JL. Okay, yeah, on counter hit, buddy. You can't do anything on normal hit, but yeah. JM, very good. Combos into this at every distance, except like very slightly niche, full range. Even then, like you are always linking into this. Pretty easy. Um, just very good air normal in general. Again, no ending lag, because we are not playing Smash Bros. Um, just use it. But don't get too like predictable with it though, because they can just 2H you. JH, this move is alright. I don't think it's particularly like super strong or anything. I use it a lot after like this. It's fake, by the way. This shit is fake. You can just TP it. It's not real. But yeah, the thing about JH is it's kind of just worse JM in terms of range. It does the same link, like you can link the same thing off of it. Like this, pretty good damage, but you know, you can also do it with this with better range. This move shines on block though, because it has a very high block stun. So plus 12. Pretty damn good compared to this. Actually, no, are they the same thing? Am I that bad at the game? I never noticed that. Okay, it's 1 frame better. Oh, that move is kind of just worse JM than now. The more you know. All right, Jack. I want you to be as calm as possible. I'm gonna talk about JU now. Okay, he is not getting calm. Okay, that's fine. JU, this move sucks ass. It's supposed to be an air stall, which I guess is sort of good to have, but the reward on it is like doo-doo garbage. You're +3 after hitting that move, so you can't link it to anything, which is I guess it's fine. On counter hit though, um, you're not getting shit off of that. Like, you are not getting anything, no combos, no nothing. You can't get Soul Forge because you're -7 and you're actually at close range, so that they can kind of just defal you. um, I guess if you want to style on them and bait a jump in, that's the only thing I can see this move being useful for. I didn't show it on block. You're -1. People BC that move, by the way. This move is so ass. It gaslit people into thinking it was plus, so they just start BCing it. No, you can press. You can press, buddy. People BC this, they do. They do. I'm playing ranked and I'm like, damn, they just BC JU. They must not know the matchup. Yeah, that move sucks. Don't use it. Um, okay, time to speed this up again. I'm gonna talk about his special variations now. Very quick though. So L projectile, what does it do? Knocks down on normal hit, which is pretty good. It's slow. It's a slow projectile. Like if I compare it to Gran, look at the distance between him and me. Just I'm messing up my. There we go. It doesn't reach extremely far, but it's still a good option to kind of keep people out. Like I don't want you near me. The M1 is the worst one now. Ever since they made the L1 slight knockdown, it just doesn't give anything unless it counter hits. So on counter hit, they get knocked down, but you can do that with the normal L version already. Oh, whatever. The big thing is that there's a claw swipe, and it's slightly faster. Yeah, it's 2 frames faster. Um, this used to be a pretty alright ender on block, because you would usually be you're -7, but nobody's punishing you at that distance, and you keep the cooldown. So that's what's mainly the move was used for, but now it's kind of useless. This is a very, very, very good move. H Fireball puts the move on cooldown, as you can see, for a pretty long time. Um, Always gives you plus frames. You will always be plus after this. It comes out pretty fast. The 24 frames for a projectile. I mean, that's pretty, for boss, that's pretty good. Up close, you'll always be plus as well. Like you use this in the block string, you're plus. You're plus again. So yeah, this is used in pressure. This is used to, of course, stone people out because it's the fastest fireball. This says 14. This says 14 first active frames, but the slowdown actually makes this slower. I'm pretty sure. Since this comes out, the claw comes out frame 9. Yeah, always plus. Usually, when I want the buff and I don't want to work for it, I just send this out. They block and I buff up. Usually, that's what I do. When I don't have old fireball ready, that is, or if they think they're gonna, react to this. So okay, the big one, the big one. This is the big one. This is his best move. I don't think. I mean, there are other contenders, but this is probably just one of the most degenerate moves in the game right now. Always has been actually. They never nerfed that shit except in the last recent patch, and it's still pretty belligerent. Um, Big plus 424. Um, yeah, you get the buff for 3 here. You get the buff, right? Okay, I was on the perfect distance. Right here. This can be used for literally everything. It's used in combos. It's used in pressure, as I said, as I showed before. This links. It's used in neutral. Genuinely, if you have nothing better to do as Vaseraga, just send one out like this. Like, what can go wrong? This is like zero risk because the only way to actually get something for the as the opponent, you just spot dodge it. I'm +3. um, Awkward, embarrassing. Awkward, embarrassing. So you basically just go back to neutral. There is no risk. As Vaseraga, you can just throw this out. They spot dodge it, and you are never in any danger whatsoever. So that's pretty good. And on block, I just showed it, but yeah, you can just reset pressure with this. I use 6XL. What am I doing? So you can just do something like this. Also, the refund on it is pretty good. And on the hits, I didn't show it on the hit, actually. You can get this, which is like my main spring, I guess, move. Okay. This is like my main thing I do. There we go. A nice little damage, nice little chip, and you get the buff for free, and they're close to the corner. Like, if you really want corner carry, you can do this. Like, if they're close to the corner, then they actually get wall bounced by this, and then after this, you can just go for something like this. Or just auto combo as well. Into the buff. But yeah, this is one of the best moves in the game, no question. No risk, very good reward, because if you hit this, you get the buff for free, and if you hit someone on block with that, you get the buff for free. Yes, use it. Good move. Tackle now. Okay, tackle. I'm +5. From this distance, I skip neutral. I'm +5, so I can just press on you again. So how tackle works is it's based on distance. So I'm right here at run start. +0. Okay. So why am I +5 here? Well, I just told you. It's because of distance. If I try very close, I'm punishable as fuck. So yeah. As I said before, this doesn't take the armor. So I'm gonna put the buff on me right here. The bar doesn't go down. So I'm not armored there. What is armored though is end tackle. So this works literally the same way as L tackle, except it gets the armor. And so because it takes the armor, you have less frame advantage. That's kind of the way they balance it. You're even more minus on hits. This is -8, so you can just straight up, Grant can straight up just get a punish on that. I'm bad at the game, so I didn't get it, but because I'm pretty, yeah, I did 8 frames. Yeah, you will, if Voss uses this on your block, then he's going to be less plus than if he did this. Or I guess it goes farther, so technically he can be more plus. But if you go just straight distance to distance, he's going to be less plus. You're right here. I'm instead of being +5, I'm +1 here. So what do you do against this move? You DP. Whether whether he has armor or not, you DP that shit, and bam, he's getting straight back into the ground. You can run your offense after this. And yeah, if you don't have a DP, you pray. That's what you do. Because spot dodging it, shit. Spot dodging it, I am terrible at the game. Yeah, you can be plus on this. I know for a fact that, you know, if you spot dodge early enough, you will, what the fuck, you will be plus. But if you do like a late reaction, he just grabs the fuck out of you. Um, that's pretty cool. You do the right thing, and you get punished, right? So if you play a character that doesn't have a DP, good luck, because that matchup is probably not very good. Um, yeah, that sounds pretty fun to deal with. This. Okay, this also used to be so dumb. So how this move used to work is before this patch, if you spot dodged it, he would continue. The second shoulder bash would continue, and so you would literally not be able to spot dodge it at all because you would get hit by the second hit. So again, characters that didn't have any DPs would just get checkmated in some situations. Like if someone was at chip damage here, like if they were at 1 HP, Voss could just send this out and they could literally do nothing about it except using like an old DP, I guess, if they had the meter for it. So that was pretty fun. They took that out though, so we are very sad. Now it doesn't. Now you can always get a throw out of it. No matter the reaction, you can always get a throw. And even better, actually, you can probably get CL. Yeah, very reliably CL out of this. So you spot dodge that now. You can spot dodge it. And then you have this. This move sucks ass in neutral. No good Vaseraga will ever use this in neutral unless they want to troll. This is used primarily as a pseudo reversal because, as we've said before, old tackle armor is on frame 5. So if you have a 5 frame gap in your pressure, Voss can kind of just send this out, and he gets very good reward off of it. Because you can actually combo out of it. Something like this. I'm bad at the game, bruh. But yeah. There we go. That's pretty good. And from full screen, he can also get this. He can just kind of switch sides for free if he gets this in the corner. Very good. I recommend doing it. Recommend doing it a lot, unless you're like very close to killing them. You can do something like this. And that does a lot of fucking damage. um, yeah. That's just Vaseraga. He does big damage, guys. We know that now. So that's tackle. Grab. Okay. So this is unreactable. This is a command grab. You cannot tech it whatsoever, and you get thrown all the way back. Full screen. So after this, Voss can quite literally just get the buff up for free. There's nothing you can do about that. So this is mostly used as, you know, an RPS maker. You hit someone on their block, you do this, or you do this. This is like the purest form of RPS there is. You can just also use regular grab, I guess. That's a bit better. But if you just don't want to think at all, they're gonna delay tech or something, yeah, you just do this or you do this, and they have to guess. They are most likely gonna take the grab though, because it's not that much of an issue taking a single grab from Vaseraga, except if you're in the corner. Because in the corner, this move loops into itself. And at that range, I can't grab, but I can command grab the fuck out of you though. So this just becomes a whole nuclear RPS basically. Like if someone just tries to mash on you as Voss, you just do this. Bam, and you know what that means. Big damage. Big damage. See, this is why most, you know, competitive players, I missed that, but that's still more than half your health. Most competitive players, they're gonna take a lot of grabs because you would rather take like 3 command grabs rather than a close H starter, right? Like if we do the math, you only take 6k from 3 command grabs, whereas you take like 10k if you get hit by a close H, and that's normal hit. You don't need a counter hit for this. I'm missing the link, but yeah, you don't need a counter hit for this whatsoever. And he only uses 50 meter for this, by the way. That sort of damage, that's something a character can get while using their super. Voss gets it for 50 meter, so that's pretty awesome. I think he needs that. He needs that for real. So yeah, I'll grab. Now I'm gonna talk about M grab. So this is just an air command grab. I forgot to mention, but also this does less damage than a regular throw. Air command grab. There we go. It's frame 9, so it's actually 4 frames faster than your 2H, which makes it a little more reliable as an anti-air. Especially because I didn't mention it, but 2H has a dead zone on it. Like you can't hit someone above your head with it. But this is where M command grab comes in and fixes that problem. The reward on it is not that great. You put them full screen, do as much as a regular grab, and you get the buff. On that sounds like a lot, but I think calling someone out with an air command grab, that should do maybe a little more. I don't know, maybe I'm privileged or something. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm asking for too much, but whatever. That's just basically the gist of it. If you want a faster anti-air with way lower reward, then you use this. This now, okay, this is the bane of every old person's existence. So 26 frames, technically reactable, but you're gonna get hit by this a couple times. Does actually quite a bit more. 3K is definitely a lot more than 2K, which is why even to this day, I find myself this just doing a weird ass like link or combo and then ending it with H grab to kind of reset them. Like I talked about this before, like this that actually connects, even on block. There we go. Uh, you have a whole array of setups with this move. Like, like actually a lot of fucking mix-ups. So I guess be ready for it. If you see Voss flash yellow and he's in this position, jump it. Because if you jump it, you get a full punish. I telegram to jump here. Um, actually, damn. If you jump it late, you only get a grab actually. Yeah, yikes. A fair character, very fair and balanced. I used to do it a lot after old fireball, way less reliable. Dude, okay, the block stun makes it kind of finicky to use after old fireball, but yeah. This is mostly like an old people check. If people don't react to this, then you can get free damage. Um, yeah, pretty good. Also, you can do some setups with he's blocking low. You can do some setups with this, something like this. Instead of, instead of doing the Chad 6XM, you do the boring ass H grab. So yeah, that's the gist. And then we have this, which is his other reversal. I talked about this, but this is his true actual reversal. So this also comes out on like frame 26-ish. The first active frame on the game is displayed as 16, but it doesn't, it doesn't count the blue big flash that also stops time for, like, slows down time for a little bit. It's not 16 frames. You can react to that shit. Fully invincible. I said that already. Like, if I tell Grant to hit me, I just ran through it. Uh, right there. He tried to hit me and he just got boss turns into a ghost and just hides his hurt box. So this on the hit is very good. The reward you get off of this is very good because I'm plus 24. What did we say before? What did we learn? What did we learn, kids? This is 40 frames. So you get the buff for free. Bam. There we go. See, Jack gets it. Bro, this is like Dora the Explorer. Um, yeah. A buff for free and +4 or something. Pretty good. That's pretty good. Or if you just if you want, you can also just go in with this or something. Not as good as JU. Okay, man. You know what, you do you. But yeah, it's reactable. You can jump in on reaction with a big blue screen. Um, if you're a beginner, this is probably going to be your most hated move on Vaseraga because every beginner in the world gets hit by this. You gotta lab it. You actually gotta time stuff properly, and kind of rework your pressure around this move, which can be a little frustrating to do. If you gotta do it, man. You gotta do it. If you don't wanna deal with Vox, just freely getting out of situations. You gotta lap this move, the timing on it, and this one as well, for a good measure. Even though getting hit by this is not the end of the world compared to this, in my opinion, because then he gets the buff up either way, but he's closer to you, and he's like, you know. Anyway, stance. I kind of talked about it a little bit. I'm gonna talk about the follow-ups now. So again, it takes a buff. So one thing about stance is that Voss cannot stay in stance forever. the after 150 frames, he just goes back to the way he like stands. That means that if a Voss is doing this in the corner, you don't have to do anything. Okay? You're with me? If the Voss tries to intimidate you and aura farm on you, you don't have to blindly jump and panic. You just stand there and you react to what he does. Okay? Okay. So M stance, he takes a step backwards, which is used either to bait DPs. So I'm gonna set that up right here. I messed that up. I didn't have the armor. Right there. And that's the main thing. It's used to like reposition boss. If boss thinks that you're gonna jump on him and he doesn't believe in 2H, he'll just big swipe, big air unblockable swipe, and kind of swat you out of the air like a mosquito. And that's the main gist. Really, these two are like pretty much identical, except boss takes, you know, a step back. Also about this is that if boss starts moving forward, he cannot stop. I am not holding any directions here. My hand is off the stick. I'm playing Galleon right now. He kind of just walks forward for 4 steps and then stops. What that means is that Voss cannot stop, so he actually has to commit to an option now. So if he's working on you, he's probably going to press something. Like, is he going to press this? Is he going to press the command grab? That's for you to decide. That's the Vaseraga. And then that's for you to DP the other person. Because we're gonna talk about the follow-ups actually. I'll talk about the follow-ups first and then this. Because this is different. This. Okay, so this is like one of the best pokes he has. Just throwing this out very fast for the range, like 12 frames. That first active frame, 12. This is very good. It will basically, if you're in the air, yeah, you're getting hit by this. Except if you're like 2B. If you're 2B, then you're probably chilling because you can double jump and shit. Yeah, pretty good. This is the low version, so I'm pressing M. After this, I'm pressing the M. It's a low. All the low that goes like 3/4 of the screen, basically. I didn't show it on vlog actually. I didn't show the advantage here. You're +1. That's the only follow-up on stance that is actually plus. Every single move after this is minus on block. For example, this -6. So again, you're not punishing this, but if you block this, then it's your turn. Especially if he's like walking on you like this, it's your turn. This. Actually no. One small niche thing that is actually pretty important against characters that have a DP is that this follow-up actually beats DPs if the boss times it right. This is very finicky to actually set up. But basically you're gonna be down backing after if you're fighting boss and he walks on you, you want to be down backing. Except if you want to DP the stance, your character actually gets up. The moment you press DP, your character gets up. So while you're still in block stun, boss can actually hit you with it, and you get punished. He doesn't get a big punish out of it though, but it denies DPs, basically. Timing is finicky. I want to state this. It's not the most reliable thing, but you know, it's still pretty good. Pretty good to know. This now. So this is actually, I think this is like, okay, this might be the worst one, but this is like the second least like useful. It's -4, so you're always safe. I guess if you want to end your dance pressure, you just do this. It's -4. You're not getting punished for this. It doesn't get anything on normal hit. Like I'm pressed. I pressed. I'm not getting anything. On counter hit though, this is where he can link into this. So you already know how big the damage is, and also if they jump at you. I'm gonna tell Grant to jump. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna ignore that. Can he cancel into grab and stance or something? I'm getting to that. But yeah. The hitbox, the aerial hitbox is actually not as big as you would think. So you kind of have to. Okay, there we go. He can get a combo if he hits you in the air with it. And yeah, there's not much to be said about this except it's safe on block. It doesn't give anything on normal hit except the buff. And it gets you a combo on counter hit. Don't use this as much as this. This is much better because you also get a combo off of this on counter hit. But yeah, now we have this. So this is the last like actual stance move he can use. Except for like an X factor I'll talk about right after. So this here, okay, you see above my above like actually above Voss's helmet, he doesn't have the gauge. There, not present. I'm gonna tell Grant to DP. What? You're telling me that this shit is armored all the time? Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention this is plus if you charge it. It's a lot, dude. It's a lot to think about, really. You're plus 16, I guess, but what can the opponent do if they block this? They just get a guaranteed BC. There's nothing Voss can do about that. So don't charge that move. Get back to this. Okay. So this move is essentially meant to be like a DP call out or a super reaction check. I'm gonna tell Gran to use his SBA. So I'm walking towards him. I press the button after him. This move is why you never, ever, ever want to use a super against Vaseraga if he's in stance. Except if your character has a command grab super. Because the command grab will just completely destroy the armor. So yeah, Voss just can press after the super flash and hit you for it, and you just wasted 100 meter. So now you look fucking dumb. You look stupid. Dumb. And as I said before, I'm gonna actually tell Grant to do something. Yeah, recording sounds good. Okay, you take the hit, Grant. God damn it, I forgot it's not on DB. Okay, there we go. For real this time. So you think they're going to DP on Wake Up? It's niche. It is. Morgan is right. This move is I have a clip actually of I made a whole clip recently of this move just completely failing at what it's supposed to be. Some characters just have a DP that will make them always safe after this. Let's take Catalina. Um so does she have the same? No. Okay. So I'm going to tell her to use actually I think it's the yes, it's Emerald Sword. Oh wow. We are even. I called out your DP. We are even. I'm +2. Oh thank god I'm +2. Let's go. If you hold it for too long, you actually become punishable. She's +4. She can grab me at this distance. Some characters can just DP, and the Voss doesn't get much out of it, even if he calls them out, which is unfortunate. Some of these characters are Catalina, Vera, Sandalphon. Which other characters can kind of just DP for free. Um, I know you all can be punished. Normaya, no, you can punish Normaya, but you have to hold that the entire time. So talking about this, uh, let's go. That's pretty awesome. I call that your DP. +7, I guess that you just like that shit, right? +6. If you want to truly punish it though, hold the entire time. But yeah, that's the main gist behind Q2XU. It's a DP bait or something, or super bait move. And okay, he can command grab out of stance. I've shown this in my like small pressure sequences. Um, yeah, that's very good. A very good thing to have because, as I said before, you can kind of just cancel a poke into stance, and then what can you do after that? You cancel the stance into the command grab. You can get a pretty nasty thing like this. You're not reacting to that, or if you are, you're at the mercy of getting counter hit by any other stance move. Right there. Um, Again, that's just more RPS for you to deal with, and for the opponent to deal with, and for Voss to abuse. There we go. Okay. Haven't talked about this. This move is not good. Frame the armor activates on frame 7, so it's 2 frames slower than this, and the reward you get off of this is not good compared to you old tackle. I mean, you're Gran. I don't want any of that. Thank you. Okay, does all right damage, and you're plus 27. So on paper that sounds really good, except again, let's remind ourselves, this takes 40 frames. So if you hit someone with this and try this, you're minus 30. So you're getting hit by a big ass punch. And then if we look at all tackle, um, plus 63. So you hit someone with this, you have a whole ass close H. The meaty after the buff. Um, so this is very good for an ender. This is also good for different reasons because it does more damage as an ender than this. But genuinely, you will only use 2 if you want more damage at the end of your combo. And that is the only way you're ever going to get mileage out of that move. And okay, we have covered everything, finally. I can go back to the PowerPoint. This I don't know how long this lasted. Um, but yeah, let's move on to more nerd stuff now. Okay, back on track. This took a long time. There we go. There we go. Okay, finally, let's talk about neutral. I'm going to be showing way less of the game now. Um, all right. So what does Vaseraga want to do? What is his game plan? What is his end game? What does he want to achieve? Well, he wants to activate Soulforge as soon as possible because, of course, he becomes very oppressive with armor, as we've shown before. Um, so how does he get that? Well, he's not going to get that by just using the move randomly in neutral. He's going to get that with knockdowns, specific knockdowns, like L command grab, mid screen. He's going to get it after a 2M, after a 2U. Um, he's going to get that after hit confirms. Like I showed a couple little combos, for example. Like I did 2M, 22HH, 2L FRL, and then he can get the buff. Just he doesn't want to do it raw, basically. As Vasaraga, you don't want the buff. You don't want to just use 5U in neutral if the opponent knows what they're doing. Because most opponents have a full screen fireball or something, or a full screen lariat that can punish Vasara doing that. You can get away with it if you're like full screen. If you're full screen and you haven't done that at all in the set, I guess you can get away with doing it. but it's by far the least safe way to actually get the buff. And as I said before, when we talk about Old Fireball guarantees you the buff either on hit or block. So that's how you get it. What he also wants to get is meter. That I mean, that's every character, right? Every character wants to be a meter. The thing is, though, with Voss is that since he is so slow, he generates meter from not moving that much. I don't know if you know this already, but in this game, you actually get more meter from just walking. You don't get more out of running, you get more out of walking. And since Voss is the slowest character in the game, he can actually get quite a little bit of meter by just moving slightly. Like, just slowly marching towards the opponent at a slow speed will get you a lot of meter, which is very useful for Old Fireball. It's very useful to use in combos, since his combos don't require that much meter. Having only a little bit, like having one old skill per combo, is going to get you a lot of damage. Sometimes even better damage than some characters using whole supers in mid-screen. So yeah, just walking again, you hit confirm a couple routes that give you a lot of meter, and you take throws. That's going to be more prominent in the defense section, but Vaseraga, considering he starts the game with 18k, he basically starts the game with a throw. Uh, he can take a throw and have basically as much HP as anyone else. I think I've mentioned that already. But yeah, he's going to take throws basically, and he's going to get meter for doing so. And the end all be all is using all of those resources to capitalize on someone's mistake. And from that mistake, he's going to blow them up with a big starter like 66H, like close H, or 22HL. Um, yeah. So just be patient. You build meter. You take armor when you can after a knockdown or after sending someone full screen, or if you just send old fireball out. And when you hit them with the big punish, you kill them. That sounds pretty simple. Now the other thing about neutral, how does he actually approach it? Because I talked about the game plan, what he wants to do, but how does he actually get to that point? Um, Good Voss players will take a slow, patient neutral game. So what that means is they're not gonna move around a bunch. They're going to stay in one spot. They're gonna slowly walk towards you to build meter, as I said before, and just poke you with little pokes like far M. I say little, but the range. So far M, um, stance normals, close L, far L, or 2-1 for you, because that move does everything. And so, well, when they get the right opportunity from poking you, they get the buff, and then they send you full screen, so you're closer to the corner. And once you're in the corner, it's wraps. It's not wraps, but it's very tough for you. So, given his good buttons, he's going to play a mid-range game with. I've already said this before, actually. Um, yeah. So okay, so this is where I come into the picture and where my personal playstyle comes into the picture. Um, some bosses they just don't want to play like that. They want to play fast. They want to overwhelm opponents with his neutral skip. Which we've seen before is L and M tackle. So they're going to try to get plus frames and capitalize on people mashing on you, like even the high level players, sometimes they just forget, like, wait, can I press or not there? I think I can press. Turns out no, they cannot press. You get FL'd counter hit. I combo into it, and then I get my buff, and now you're closer to the corner, and you're that much closer to losing the game now. However, the key counterplay to this is to, well, deny it, as we've showcased before. You DP. You just DP it if you have a DP, and if you don't, that's tough luck, buddy. That's rough. Genuinely, just I would say spot dodge. But as we've seen before, if you're not right on the timing, if you don't react immediately, you are going to get punished for spot dodging. So, do you really want to do that, or do you want to take the plus frames? You take you take the you pick your poison, I guess. What's also important is actually, well, knowing when Voss is plus or not. Uh, Knowing the exact ranges where Voss gets to press buttons or if he cannot. And this is going to really just make the Voss players that don't want to play neutral, they're gonna have to play neutral. And since they don't like that, they might not be as effective as a slow Voss player that just usually takes a slow approach to neutral. Okay, let's talk offense now. So again, I've already said most of this. You have the universal CL into CM frame trap, and then you have the L command grab that you can use for RPS. You can use its fireballs for plus frames. As we've shown before, H fireball is always plus on block no matter the distance. Even the claw swipe, even if you hit them with the claw swipe on block, you're going to be like +3 to +4. Or again, I'm gonna say it for the umpteenth time, but we've seen it before. You cancel a poke into stance and then you command grab. If he's far away, then I have shown that. I've shown everything, bro. I am terrible. I should have shown that gradually, but that's fine. If he's far away, he can try to reset his pressure with far H into into L tackle. So far H into L tackle to U into L tackle, and then he just becomes +2 or +1, and then he can press his own stuff like 2L to maybe catch a mash from the opponent there. There is a gap, of course, so again, you DP it. And I've talked about this as well. He has a lot of fake setups with H command grab, which I've shown before. The routes I've shown, like 2L, 4L, H grab, I've shown it. So in the corner, this is where you are the most vulnerable, easily. I've shown the L grab loop. You just L grab over and over. If you really don't want to think, if you as a Voss player do not want to structure any of your offense, you just put them in the corner and you loop them. You're playing Street Fighter 6. If you thought you were off of Street Fighter 6, you were playing Street Fighter 6. Okay? Because this is essentially the same thing. You grab them and you loop them, or you hit them with a big starter like CH, and you make them explode. Of course, since it's RPS, it's not the most reliable thing. It will not work all the time. It will probably maybe it won't have a 50% win rate. Maybe you won't hit this. Sometimes you just roll the dice, and you're just out of luck, and they get out the first time. So what you can do is just um you know RM L fireball. I haven't actually used that. Let me show that because I haven't shown that. Um, Change streams. We are back to the game now. Let me switch OBS. There we go. Okay, we are back. I'm have them blocked now. So you see this doesn't work. They block. Um, you can always go into something like this. You can do into something like this. Wait, I just realized I haven't talked about this at all. Okay, my mistake. This is also like a contender for some of us's best move. 2-2H is very, very, very oppressive because as we mentioned already, it gets the armor. So what you're supposed to do is, well, DP it, right? Okay, he's not doing it. That's fine though. This is a very oppressive situation. Voss always starts moving, so compared to this, where you can just stand and just not walk forward, he immediately walks forward. I'm not pressing the controller here. He takes 4 steps and just stops again, but it's way faster. So this is already more oppressive because look at the chip damage. Look at the chip damage I'm doing right here. We can look at Grant's health. That's pretty good chip damage. So usually the opponent will try to react quickly to this because they don't want to take that much chip damage. So they're either going to DP, either right there, or they're going to grab, because you can't just grab boss out of that. Right there, it's consistent. This timing is consistent. You can lab it, and it will always be the same. Boss cannot just go slower. He will always just be vulnerable to grabs. Except again, you have to think about this, because what if he just hits you with it, you know? And if he hits you with it in the corner, you are taking a lot of damage. So the RPS might not be in your favor, but if he just keeps walking on you, you might just want to throw a little quick grab in. Okay, he just stopped. Yeah. Also, the hits, not the hits, but the frame data on his stance normals actually change. These two, they don't change at all. This though, this mostly changes on whiff. If I tell Gran to crouch, he's blocking. This whiffs. This says -20. So you would think, okay, that seems like a pretty noticeable like punish window. It's not actually -20. It takes into account, you know, now here it might the training mode itself cannot comprehend the way this move works on whiff. It's usually around -13 on whiff. You cannot react to the follow-up itself, but most advanced and experienced players will recognize when a boss is actually going to use this. If the opponent catches on your habits as boss player, like maybe you do 2 steps and you do this, and you just don't mix them up, like you only do this, then they can hit you after this. But frankly, uh, purely reacting to it is almost impossible. If not impossible, because -13, you're not reacting naturally to that, and this is why this is such a good option in your offense, because the reward you get off of this is very good, and the risk you take off of this is like very minor. I'm gonna tell him to stop blocking. Like for example, if I hit, that is not what I wanted. Someone with it. I'm just gonna do something mirrorless. You get the buff up again, and you just get to do stuff again. So yeah, and if they crouch it, boo hoo. I guess I'm -13 on whiff. Wow, I'm gonna cry now. Yeah, they're very good. This also changes on this. This becomes -3 instead of minus. What the fuck? Instead of -6. And this doesn't change at all. This stays -4, and this, I think this stays the same as well, -6. Yeah, this the frame data only changes for this and this. Still though, Voss can act quicker out of these 2 follow-ups compared to the other versions of stance, which makes it even more of a threat, because some players that are not as good on the reaction side, they're gonna try to whiff punish you after you throw something out. That's where you can just throw your own 2 out after this and kind of catch them for trying to counter hit you. So in the corner, this is a very oppressive situation. Especially with armor. You can get grabbed again. You can get grabbed out of this, but nothing a good 2-HL doesn't fix. And then they're scared to press again. This is the part where you actually want to jump. If you're not feeling the grab, if you don't feel like you're going to hit the grab, you might as well just try to jump over him. Like right there. You can still, of course, you can get caught by this. If you don't time your jumps as well. But if you come out unscathed, then that's a pretty good deal for you. It says plus 11 for me, but honestly, you getting out of that corner is the big win here. Like, even if you get hit after this, you're just going to get sent into mid-train, which is a much better position than having to keep corner against Voss. You don't want that ever. Bam, 6XM. The crowd goes wild. So yeah, this is 2-2H, one of his best moves, sticks armor, and you're like almost on with punishable on one follow-up. So that's pretty good. Alright. We are going to get back into the PowerPoint. I have made this so much longer than it needed to be. I'm sorry, you guys. There we go. Okay. Back to this. BC. You don't want a BC. We're gonna get into the counterplay section later, but if boss has the gauge, you do not want to brave counter at all in the corner. Just genuinely, don't ever do it, ever, because the damage he gets on baiting that, it's just out of this world. He baits your BC and you're cooked. You're gone. You're gone out of the game. Um. Okay. Okay. Actually, bro, I'm actually so bad at doing this. But that's fine. We're gonna get back to the game. I want to show the very dumb and ignorant tactic you can use as Voss. Bam, back to the game on OBS. Does he block? He blocks. Okay, you're far away. The pressure did not work out. You tried to do some fucking close pressure, didn't work. You're at this distance. What do you what do you do as Voss at this distance? You do this. Pretty good. Um, this is like super toxic because you would think there's like a clear way to actually get out of this, right? Like this seems like something you can mash out of, and you can, but the timing is very strict considering the block stun. This is like very dangerous to actually press on, because if you try to press on this, let me just fucking, if you get hit by the fireball, damn, if you get hit by the fireball, he bot gets to combo you again, and if you get hit by the 4M, I missed the meaty, but that's fine. Very good block string, genuinely. Some people will try to jump over it, which is where you can kind of just, I missed it. Super armor. You can kind of ult tackle them on reaction, and there's nothing much they can do. The grind is, maybe this is right. Okay, that wasn't punished this time because I was too far, too close actually. What the fuck, man? Did Jesse like to me? Did Jesse like to me? Or maybe Grind is privilege. Maybe that character is privilege. But yeah. Also, something you can do is, dude, okay, maybe Gran is privileged. But either way, if they try to come down on you, you can kind of ult grab them, or you can H tackle them, H tackle, ult tackle them. Yeah, very strong. Again, you can't press on this pretty much, if at all. Very specific times needed. And if they get hit, then they get hit by a big counter hit, and you get just big damage and the buff again, and you just start this all over again. So yeah, that's pretty good. Um, we're going to move on now. There we go. Back to the PowerPoint. There we go. I'm getting tired. Are you getting tired? I hope not. Okay. Now we're going to talk about defense. This is Voss's weakest position. He has a very, very strong offense, but a weaker defense. I'm not gonna say Voss's defense is bad, because Voss's defense is not bad, it's weird. Your fastest mashing option is frame 6, so it's 2L. We've covered that already. So if you want to mash, then you go for that. But since it's slower than, 5 framers, you might just get counter hit, so you might just want to eat throws. Very important in big, big purple letters. If you're a smart guy playing Vaseraga, so if you're not named Nitro Noir, you save your gauge for when you're on defense. So what does that do? Well, you already know what that means. We're back on the game again. There we go. Gremlin Fantasy versus Rising. My favorite game. Okay. I'm gonna give myself the buff permanently. There we go, infinite. So, Wave the Grand does this. What the fuck? Okay. That's what you do. How pressure is structured in this game is it revolves around strike throw most of the time, and just stagger pressure in general. Most characters' pressure will be simple enough. They just want to hit CLs. They just want to get plus frames on themselves over and over. And Voss can't really, he can't do much against people that just close L. However, if they start FLing, pretty much every FL in this game is actually, I'm not gonna say pretty much because I don't know all of the frame data, but um a lot of characters for Ls are only +1, Voss not being one of them. But since they're +1, that means that anything they do after that is you're able to armor out of it. Right there. If I try to armor after CL, I just get counter hits. What the fuck? Okay, this bot is not fucking right there. Okay. Dude, I'm fucking terrible at using the bot. But essentially, you cannot do that if they're using close Ls. You can only armor through something with this if they're using far Ls. I'm gonna show that again. Dude, what is wrong with this bot, bro? Sometimes it just... What the fuck? Is it because I'm standing? No. Okay. Okay, if I do this... Dude. Okay. I was using the wrong fucking thing. Okay. See? Okay. I tried to do the same thing. So I tried to 2-2H there. So I tried to do this. And I get hit out of it. Because he's +4 after using CL. However... Okay, I didn't press anything after this. This is so weird, bro. Now it works. I really want to emphasize this because this is just very good for Voss to get and to have. Having a reliable way to get out of the corner is something he just needs, because otherwise, slower frame data, slower buttons, reversals that can be, labbed and completely negated. So on defense, if you have this, you're looking pretty good. What the fuck? There we go. So yeah,
If they're hitting far L's on you, you can do that, and it works, and everybody's happy except the opponent. You're happy as the boss player. Crazy pressure from Gran right now, bro. Cut me some slack, okay? All right. With meter, so I already talked about it. You have two reversals, which are ult tackle and ult grab. Um, ult tackle gets a great reward. Ult grab at this, the ult grab is the same, just a little bit less so. Um, they're very awkward in the sense that, as I said before, the opponent can lab against the moves and always kind of beat them. Ult grab is only really useful against someone that labbed it if they use a committal option. If they use something like a far H that has a lot of recovery, then ult grab will catch them. And they won't be able to recover in time to actually jump out of the way. So that's where ult grab actually gets its use against someone that, labbed against the move. And ult tackle is it's dangerous. It's dangerous to use because you might just waste 50 meter while people are staggering the fuck out of you. But if you're willing to take the risk and get the big damage, then you know you get good stuff, positive. You take throws. Okay, as boss, I've already said this before. Again, like I feel like I just said everything at the beginning, but you take throws. Already mentioned this. Um, and also for Vaseraga, Brave Counter is extremely, extremely good. We are going back to the game again. Changing streams. There we go. OBS. There we go. Okay. So, what the fuck? Uh, you are plus 54 if you counter hit someone with a Brave Counter. And again, I'm just pointing at the thing we established. This is 40 frames. So you get Soul Forge for free. If you only hit them like if you only hit Brave Counter normally, you're only plus 21, which is still very good. Very good. You can usually get the buff either way. But what I like to do if I don't get a counter hit with boss, I do this. So I waste a little bit of meter, but I guarantee the buff way more safely. Because being minus 20 at Brave counter range, sometimes you can get punished by someone just sending out this or something. Okay, it says 22, so not that one. What about this one? This one definitely kills you. Oh my god, bro. Okay, whatever. But yeah, you get the gist. You get the buff for free. Nice. And if you don't, you just do that on the way. You hit that meaty. There we go. Big meaty, and you're only -5, which is pretty damn good. You get the buff. So you can already put into motion what we said before with this on defense, or you can try to get out the normal way with like 4M. Like at this distance, if you're -5, you can send this out maybe, or this if you're feeling bold. But yeah, against Vaseraga, the thing that's unfair about the character is that if you have Forge up, then the opponent cannot BC you, because if they BC you, well, we've established this. You can kind of just blow them the fuck up. Bam. Pretty good. But you as Vaseraga can do it and get very good reward off of it. So we love Brave as Vaseraga. We love Brave counters. I think that mechanic is very good for the half of the game, and we embrace it. There we go. All right. There we go. Back to the PowerPoint. Yep, PowerPoint, my beloved. All right. This is the main counterplay section. I've already sprinkled in a little bit of counterplay throughout this presentation about tackle and stuff. Some of you will find again here. So you use your multi-hits against the armor. So if you have a multi-hit projectile and you see Voss stands up from like it stands up in neutral, you do that so you stop him from advancing. And you DP him when he's using armor at close range, so when he's using tackle or when he's using stance. If you don't have a DP, again, you're cooked. You do not panic. That's one of the most important things about playing against Vaseraga. If you panic and if you take the game too fast, you are most likely going to get hit. You are playing Vasaraga's game unless you're a zoner or unless you're two other characters. You are going to want to take this slow. Because if you take this slow, then that means Vasaraga is the one that has to get to you. If you just harass him with your projectile, then he has to get in. And by getting in, he's going to use, as we said before, tackle. What is he gonna do? He's gonna try to RPS. Um, I haven't actually gotten it on hand. After this whole thing is over, I'm going to show you footage of what I think someone playing the matchup should resemble. Let me get that on deck for later. There we go. Okay, this is going to be the last thing we're gonna do. There we go. Back to the PowerPoint. Um, we'll get back to this. So again, I've said it never BC when he has Forge. You want to take the Alchemy grab because, well, it's only 2,000 damage or 3,000 if he uses the H1. Do you want to take 2,000 or do you want to take like 6,000? I think the answer is pretty clear. Stagger pressure. So if you don't know what stagger pressure is basically you farming plus frames on someone's block. So in Grand Blue terms, you close slide them over and over. That's how you do stagger pressure. And that's going to be very oppressive for Vaseraga because if you're staggering, his reversals become useless in the sense that, well, old tackle doesn't get the 5 for the old tackle being frame 5 armor means that you're gonna get hit out of it. The armor isn't gonna proc because you're gonna get hit out of it. And old grab is super reactable, so they're just going to hit a close light on you. You're going to grab. They're going to jump and they're going to punish you with a full combo. And EX stance, the yellow one, the H1, not gonna work again because frame 5 armor. The only thing boss can do is really brave counter, but if you're staggering, then you're plus, so you can block brave counter. Not that you would get anything out of it, but removing one of Voss's BPs is very important, so I highly recommend doing that. Also, if you are getting sick of this Vaseraga character, of this Vaseraga champion, you save jab. If you knock him down, you save jab. Again, it beats every single one of his defensive options. Old grab, too slow. You just jump out of the way. And old tackle, also too slow. You just block. It starts on frame. The hitbox comes out on frame 9 compared to other ultimate DPs that just kind of eat your save jab. Voss cannot do that, so he kind of has to hold it. That's kind of why Voss is going to stand up and down block because he can't do shit basically. If the opponent knows what they're doing, and if we've talked about this before when we talk about 5U and why I don't recommend doing it raw and just closing the opponent. it's punishable. It's 40 frames. 40 frames is a long time in fighting game terms. And yeah, you're going to get hit out of it if you try to do it raw, basically, is what I'm getting at. So if you find a boss at like S rank or S plus rank or A rank that just doesn't know what they're doing too much and tries to armor up on your face, you just hit him out of it, and you just deny him of the buff, because as we said before, if you hit him before the 21 frames, he loses the buff entirely. All right, so this is the matchup section. I've made two tier lists. I said it at the beginning. This is more of a like regular basic tier list. What I think the boss wins, what I think he loses, and some matchups I'm just not experienced enough. I'm just not experienced enough to truly make a call. I can give you an assumption of what I think it is, but yeah, this only really comes into play when you're playing at high level, I will say, because pretty much any of these characters can be placed into any tier if you don't know how to fight them. That's the big thing when you're starting out a fighting game. You don't know everything, so some characters that have a winning matchup, that you have a winning matchup against them, they might seem unbeatable because you don't know shit about the character you're facing, or you don't know slight intricacies that do make the matchup favorable. Um, I'm not gonna talk. I was planning to talk about specific characters and what I think the why I put them there, but this has already gone on long enough. I can give you information in the Q&A section if you want to, if you want to ask some specific things about your main and how they perform against Vaseraga. I can give you more details, but this has already gone on long enough. So this is the first tier list I made. Generally, who I think he wins, slightly wins, or who he goes even with, and slightly loses and loses. So he only really loses to one character in my opinion, which is Metera. I said this was 7-3 before. It's not 7-3. It's not that bad. Generally, this game is pretty well balanced. Um, she is definitely his worst matchup, but it's not insurmountable. And then the second tier list is actually a little bit more complicated. The second tier list I have is based on how much, in my opinion, a character can compete while using their kit to the full extent of their potential. This might be a little complicated to comprehend, but basically, I think I'm gonna try to explain this as simply as I can, but I put characters in sort of categories in how I think they can approach, if they have the tools to deal with us, if they have X factors that make the matchup better for them. For Nia Ricala's case, they just lack a lot of tools of what makes a character good against Vaseraga. Avatar Belial does have the tools. The thing is, when he uses the tools, he takes damage. So he can quite literally just dominate the round and lose to one lost interaction, considering just how much Voss shits out damage. You have characters like Charada, Soriz, Wellness that do have some things going for them. Like they have very good plus frame games. Um, but what they struggle is it getting in. Voss has a projectile. Voss has long range normals. They just struggle to actually get in, and they don't pose much of a threat even if they do get in, because Voss is down blocking. He's down blocking most of the time, and a good Voss will be able to react to what Willness does. Um, I'm not. I'm a good Voss, but I don't react. So I get cooked by Willness, but I will admit that the matchup is slight winning for Voss. Some other characters like Galleon, Lucilius, Zeta, they have some tools. Like Galleon specifically can run a very like oppressive command grab game. Since Voss's reversals are so fucking slow, he basically has to take the 50-50 every single time he gets knocked down. But other than that, again, she struggles getting in and struggles placing her shit. It's not a good time for Galleon. Um, then we go a little bit down. Vera and Lancelot, they do have pretty much all the tools you need against Voss. What you need is multi-hit moves. You need a DP, a multi-hit DP, if possible. That's preferable. You need good frame data, and range that can, you know, contend with him to some extent. Which, to be fair, both Vera and Lancelot have, is just they take a little bit more work because Lancelot has less HP, and some of his pressure can just be denied by Voss's armor. And Vera is the whole point of Vera is getting into install, right? But the install is not that great against Voss because her MDP becomes kind of useless against the armor. Uh, the error dash also is not that great because Voss has so many anti-air options. He can swat you out of the air if she tries any funny business. Then we go down and we have characters that either lack some tools but have their own advantages, or they just straight up just have the tools. Um, in the lack some tools but they have their own advantages tier, you find the zoners, mostly pretty much every zoner except Mitera and like Arit. Um, and I guess you can say fucking Dikala because she's all the way up here. Um, they don't have like a DP, but they have zoning, and zoning can be strong against Voss up until he reaches 50%, in which he can just ult fireball most of the turning away. Um, though he does it at a range where it's reactable. You can react to ult fireball and spot dodge it. And then in the has the tools to fight Voss tier, you have most of the Shotos. You have Grand, Jita, Percival, Sandalphon, Siegfried, Narmaya, Belial, Beatrix to some extent, even though she's kind of rushed down, kind of a Shoto at the same time. If you're a Shoto, except if you're Anila, if you're a Shoto, you can win. You have the tools to fight Vaseraga. You just have to put in the work. And then you have characters like Huel, which is way more rushdown focused. She has a lot of multi hits, so she can just brush through the armor, and her DP is extremely good against Moss because it is very fast. The multi hits come out very fast, so he cannot react to he cannot react to her DP. He can react against some DPs like Siegfried's. Siegfried's is slow enough that Boss can just armor through one part of the DP and press 2 XCU to, armor through the rest. He can't do that against you all. So these are the two characters I was talking about that aren't donors but still do good against Voss. It's Ladiva and Tubi. Mostly because Voss actually doesn't get to play his game. He has to play their game, which is extremely rare for Voss to actually do. Um, the thing with Ladiva is you would think this would be like an extremely bad matchup for her, right? But then you realize that once she hits 100%, she can just say no to his zoning and go through his projectiles and just get in. And once she's in, Vaseraga has to take the 50-50s every time. Because again, reversals are slow as fuck. You kind of just are put in get for game situations as soon as Ladiva gets to 100%. If she doesn't have 100%, then she's going to struggle getting in though, which is the main thing that doesn't put her in hard losing. She can also command grab you out of your own pressure because they gave Ladiva a 5-frame command grab. So considering we know the frame data on Voss's moves, they are slow. So what do they mean? What does that mean? Ladiva can command grab you out of your own pressure, and then you have to start thinking about what she's going to do when you wake up. So Voss has to play extremely lame. He has to play extremely zoner heavy in this matchup. Did not comfortable for him to do once she hit 100. I've already said that. And then 2B, I just fucking suck at the matchup, man. I have nothing to say. I just suck, and I think she can just contend with Vaseraga on pretty much every front. The only thing 2B lacks is a DP. But she has just very, very, very good positive. She actually has comparable range to Voss and has just faster frame data overall, which makes neutral extremely tough for him. I asked a veteran boss player, and what he told me, the counterplay he told me was act as if there's no neutral. You just wait to BC something and get armor, and then she can't deal with armor, so you're in better position that way. Also, 2B can double jump above most of Voss's aerial hitboxes. Um, Unlike most of the casts. So most of the guys that are gonna try to jump over Voss, they're gonna get killed. 2B is not one of them. Then you have Catalina, which stands in her own tier, because I don't think the difference in tiers might make it seem like she's that much better compared to the rest of the shooters, but I don't think so. It's just that she has comparable range to Voss, better frame data, and she has all the tools a Shoto has. So a DP, a multi-projectile, a multi-hit projectile, um, and the good, yeah, I've said it before, good frame data. And also 5U can be extremely useful to deny Voss of poking with stance in neutral. Um, and she gets to actually bait his brave counters, which is something most of the cast just can do, but they don't get anything off of it. Catalina gets a great reward off of baiting Voss. And then you have Metera, who is, I think, his worst matchup, because her zoning is actually very, very oppressive. Mainly due to Ultimate Butterfly and just Butterfly in general. Vaseraga is so fat that you can just get clipped for no reason. You can roll through a projectile and get hit by the pillar that is behind you because your cape was in it. So that's pretty fun. Um, Although it is ultimately a patience check. Uh, and then yeah, I think we're finally done. I don't know how long this lasted. Let me check on Discord, bro. Um, Actually, I wanted to show you the sets I was talking about with how a good player plays the matchup. I don't know if you guys want to see this. If you're tired, if you don't want to do it, then sure, you can leave now. Um, but yeah, the I'll wait for questions and then we'll watch it. You can also just Harry, Harry. That was uncalled for. Thanks for the presentation. Good night, man. A good night to you too. You can unmute if you want to like ask me like directly as well.
Nitro, I have a question.
Yeah, what is
For
it,
you
Harry?
specifically.
Yeah, from me specifically.
How the fuck do I beat you? Like you. Specifically you.
You play 2B. I just said that.
No, but I play Metera and I still fucking it didn't work out.
You labbed the fucking matchup, man. I am dumb and will be reviewing the VOD heavily. Yeah, I'll make sure to timestamp on the video. On the VOD, I'll put the timestamps on where each section is. If y'all are good, then we can just watch. Yeah. All right. Let me change for the final time. I also have to change on OBS. All right. Let me create a new scene. Capture the window. Uh, where is it? There we go. Okay. There we go. I'm not gonna put it on full screen because I'm too fucking tired to do that. But okay, this is my set against Samu on Grand Cypher Zone 11 in Winners Finals. I think this is like literally. I have rarely seen someone play the matchup better, except for players like Saki or Akame, who are all just built different. They are extremely good at the game. And I wanted to showcase this one specifically because Charada doesn't particularly do well against Vaseraga, as I said before. But Samu actually locked in. So, do I... I'll make it very... There we go. Let me advance for it a little bit. There we go. Okay. Let's review this a little bit with Khalil on the commentary. Alright, so immediately, just right at the start, what does Samu do? He immediately just down blocks. I just try to... I think he's going to get in, so I just use a preemptive stance move. He doesn't do shit. Right there, what does he do? He slowly approaches and down blocks. And what do? Well, I just want to get my offense started. So I do this, except I didn't space it properly. So he gets to press now. He doesn't, because he's being very careful. Right here, like he is not pressing shit, and then out of nowhere, he runs up 6XLs. I had no time to prepare for that. So he just gets it. Gets offense started. There we go. I have to block again, because Vaseraga, as we all know, has to wait on defense if he doesn't have either armor or the meter. IBC. Get armor that way, and then I immediately go into stomp. What does Samu do? He just doesn't do anything. And what does he still doesn't do anything. The Samu is playing extremely patiently, and that is genuinely how you beat Voss. You have to be more patient than the Voss player, or at least more patient than the rush down Voss player. Right there, I'm kind of lost because I'm thinking he's just down blocking and 6XLing out of nowhere. Like, okay. See, this was the time where H tackle was busted. I get a little counter hit with the buff. I try to make him jump. I use multiple moves that would usually work on Charlotte, right? Since she likes to jump a lot. Samu is not taking anything. Is there no way to cancel into overhead and stance? No, there is none. The only mix-up you have that hits down block is command grab. That's the only thing you have. Right here. I try to H grab, it works. Samu just waits again, waits for me to whiff something, jumps over me, and then Boss is in the corner. And he blocks it, because again, he's been playing very patient. I have to play patient as well. And now Voss struggles. Right there, I cannot react to shit. So he gets a long, big punish. I get the command grab. Again, I try to, make him interact with me. It doesn't work. Samu sees that I'm using a stance move. He goes for the super, which usually you would not do. Like, as we said before, this is not a good tactic, usually. But since, if we look at my HP, I am very low. I have 0 BPs. And I am most likely dead to even a super on stance. So Samu gets lucky here. I release early, and so he just hits me with full force. I lose the round. Let's see the next one. See, again, he tried to press something a little too early and got punished for it. And then what does he do right after it? He just down blocks. And now I'm lost. Like, okay, I guess I'll command grab the fuck out of you. Again, I try to... I imagine me command grabbing him means that he's going to start jumping, right? Because he doesn't want to get looped. But no, he just stands his ground and blocks. See right there, what I was talking about, what I was referring to before, with the pressure. Bam, didn't mesh at the right time. Right there, jumps again, tries to pick an option too quickly, and going to lose the round for this. That kills. Round 3. Pick the right option at round start. And now I get to play, and now this is a very bad position for us to be. Because nowhere near close to reversal. And nowhere, it doesn't have Swordforge. So all I have now is BC. I'm gonna get grabbed a lot. Because that's what boss does. Then my BC. I get out of the corner. Again, he is not budging. Samu seems like a very good player. He is. He's probably the best Charlotte in the EU. But I do think that he's beatable. He is not on the level of Saki or Akame, in my opinion. But what he does here is extremely good. He's just standing his ground and down blocking for his life. Which me on the other side, as we've seen before, there we go. I try to go in, and I'm like, okay, he hasn't pressed a single time. He almost hasn't pressed. So I'm just going to do more steps, and once he sees I'm going to do more steps, then he's going to press something because he doesn't want to take the chip damage. I do 3 steps, a move, which he just holds, and then I'm just kind of lost because this is minus. I don't know why he's not blocking, like why he's not taking his turn back. I do this for plus frames, and he's just literally blocking. And you can see how lost I am in this situation, because I am really not used to people just holding block and holding their ground and not panicking. Right there. Right there. Perfectly uses to you. Sorry, you had to go. Thank you so much for the. Yeah, you're welcome. You'll get back to this point in the VOD. But yeah. There we go. M-Tackle. This works. Essentially, the main takeaway from this is that if you're patient enough and you make the Voss, if you force the Voss to pick options that aren't comfortable for him, he is going to struggle a lot. There we go. I tried to react it perfectly. So game 1. Right here. I was expecting him to not be ready for this, which he wasn't. Pretty good runs out for me. There we go. Just perfectly counters what I did right there. See, now I'm noticing he is not pressing shit. Most Charlottes in this situation would just DP right out of it. Samu is not doing that. He finds the perfect timing to grab, puts me in the corner, and now my time is ticking. I do not have stance anymore. I am in a lot of trouble. Right there, I tried to mash because he was just shimming the fuck out of me. There we go. That's a nice little combo. I don't have any armor now. I try to BC on plus frames. There we go. I'm playing pretty bad here. Again, just waits for me to pick an option and punishes me accordingly. I grab because I'm a scrub. Right there. Picks the right option at the right time. Yeah, it's Khalil staying. I'm also not playing the best. Right there, I'm back in the corner.
the side switch was kind of crazy. Nah, again, back to blocking. The way he moves in neutral actually puts me in a lot of trouble. Puts me in disadvantage a lot. I'm just throwing stuff at the wall here, like because I'm being frustrated. I'm getting frustrated. Nothing is working. I tried to command grab. He's jumping at the right time. I do not know how to break his guard, so I'm just kind of playing for chip at this point, and just throwing stuff at the wall, which is not working, as you can see, right there. And then immediately goes back into range where he can react, which he didn't that time. I should have done, of course, and I tried again, and I get too greedy. All right, one more. One more time. Right there, I just take my first frames. This is plus right here, and Simon knows it, so he doesn't press, but he presses after my press. There we go. Just expertly maneuvers through the matchup. I'm playing very frustrated here. See, I just get, see how frustrated I got here. I was just constantly BCing because none of my shit was working. Right, even Khalil points that out. The armor didn't proc there in time. All the grab works. Right, and now he DPs. Now he's trying to. Now he's throwing out the options that usually beat me, or beat the stance rather. So now I have to think even more. Yep. And now this is. I have. Did I win a single round doing that? I think I did. Yeah, I took one round off of this entire set. Right there, just greatly uses the BP and the meter to put me in the corner with no resources. I just take the overheads because that's what you do. I BC again because I'm frustrated. The little link I showed you guys before. And now he's using the DPs a lot to throw me off. Right there. Do I win this round? I do. Alpha 6 exam. The GOAT. See again. There we go. I did not want to block. There we go. My ass was pissed. Okay. And then I just fucking do that because I'm sick and tired. See, I just lost both the battle and the war here. Like, I lost both in game and in my mind because I didn't know how to respond to the way Samu played. He just down blocked and chose the perfect opportunities to actually strike against me. And so what that did is, like, make me upset. So I just got 3-0'd, took 2 rounds off of that whole set. And yeah, that's how you play against Vaseraga. Or at least that's how you play against me. you know? And yeah, that's going to be the end now. I took a lot of you guys' time. I'm sorry for that. I wanted it to be structured better, but we don't always succeed at things.
I hope this was still like useful for you guys. But yeah, I'm going to end the recording now. It has been 2 hours and 30 minutes actually. That's actually similar to the first time I did this.